bring it on in. Okay, so today we're working on escaping the backpack or back mount. All right. So it's a position that's very difficult to escape. All right. It's one of the most dominant positions you can have. So whenever you can find the back on somebody, always try to get there. Okay. It's a very, very dominant position. It's very difficult to escape. Okay. So there's going to be a few ways we're going to do it. But the big thing with learning how to escape the back is to not rush the process. Okay. It could take 2 minutes just to escape the back control. When you try to rush it, you open up the ability for the person to attack you, or he can reestablish the back position if you are almost escaping, and then you got too happy and excited about escaping, and you try to come on top. A lot of times they can reset the back, and all that work you've done is for nothing. Okay, so when we're doing back escapes, it's slow, methodical movements, inch by inch, and then you can work to escape. Okay. Before we work on escaping the back, we're going to do a little a review on how to take the back when you have somebody in the mount and they turn the wrong way. Okay, just as a drill to reinforce some things that we've done before and to get ourselves ready for taking the back. So let me have Curtis right here. I'm going to have Curtis in the mount. Okay? Another dominant position, just like this. All right. Curtis can make the mistake of trying to get to his knees, but instead turning to his side. If he gets to his knees the wrong way, yes, right here. If he turns to his side like this, when his elbow crosses my center line, he gives me the ability to take his back. Okay, so that's a no-no when somebody has you in the mount. Don't turn to your knees without understanding proper framing. Okay, see, Curtis is not understanding proper framing right now. This is good framing. If he just decides to turn to get to his knees, he's giving me his back like nothing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Hands are going to be on the mat. When Curtis turns to his side, he's going to freeze. Turns to his side, he's freeze. Perfect, okay? What that tells me is that this side, my knee, has got to travel up to his upper shoulder area and make like a pillow more or less for his neck. Okay, the other foot is going to come up nice and tight, knee to the ceiling, and I'm going to rotate my hips perpendicular to him. Okay, this is called the modified mount position. All right? It's very, very simple, but you have to do it intelligently by putting your hands, weight on your hands. Okay, so if I go back a step, if I don't have my hands on the mat when Curtis goes to move and I want to transition, it's going to be very hard because all my weight is on my knees. Okay, so in order to do that, I want to put my weight on my hands. It allows my legs to move around and adjust very smoothly. So now with my hands on the mat, when he does that same motion, now I can move and rotate nice and smooth, and I can more or less cut him off the path. Okay? All right. From here, if he continues to try to drive to his knees, I got to, again, have my hands on the mat, and I want to slide my hooks in, and I want to sit back on him. Okay? Right here is where we're going to start to attack the seatbelt, but I want to make sure that I don't get too high with my hips. All right, so I want to make sure that I make this nice adjustment by bringing my hips back. So one more time. So hands on the mat, he turns, modified mount, freeze. Okay, still have my hands on the mat. As he starts to turn to his knees, I want to thread my foot through and sit back. All right, now from here I can go underhook on one side and then overhook to the other, and then I squeeze and hold. And now I have good control of the back right here, where I can start to choke or just maintain position. If you know how to control this position very well, you can drive your hips into them and you can flatten them out, and they're in a world of trouble right here. Okay? This is why you don't want to give up your back. If you get somebody, especially if they're even bigger than you, and they get on your back and they drive their hips into you and flatten you out, you're in a world of trouble. Okay? So we don't want that to happen. But we're just drilling to reinforce something that we've done in the past. So hands on the mat, he turns. Modified mount, I freeze. He goes to his knees, I thread the foot, seat goes back, over under control, and I have my head nice and tight. All right? Any questions? I'll come around and help you guys out, some guys that are brand new, so let's give it a shot. Just a little drill that we've done in the past on how to take the back when somebody turns the wrong way when you have them mounted. Okay, so that's good. So that's a no-no. Okay, so let's assume that all happened, and now we're going to work and understand how to escape the back. So Curtis is here. Just rotate this way and sit up. Sit up. All right, let's assume that I already took Curtis's back right there. I got my hooks in. Okay. Right now we're just dealing with standard hooks. Okay. We can talk about body triangles and different forms of leg control, but right now we're just going to talk about traditional hooks. So heels more or less are together in the hip line, and I'm pinching with my knees. Okay. So that's just traditional hooks. Okay. Overhook and underhook, and then I grab my hands together and I just kind of like stake him down in the middle of his heart. Boom, right? my chest to his back. Okay, so this is just a standard seatbelt position or a rear mount. All right, overhook, underhook, seatbelt control with 2 hooks in. Okay, so this is what he has to worry about defending this. Okay, if he can be preemptive and not let my hands lock together, yeah, if he can hand fight and not let my hands in, it's going to be a lot easier for him to escape. Okay, so being preemptive with your defense when you feel somebody has your back, not allowing them to lock their hands together, hand fight here, yeah, exactly. If he can not allow my hands to lock together, he's going to have a lot easier time escaping. Okay, so that's preemptive measures. Okay, that's just, there's really not too much technique for that. It's just about hand fighting. Don't let his hands lock together. Okay, so let's assume that I've already locked my hands together. Okay, so now it's going to be very hard for him to create a scramble. So now, how is he going to escape? Okay, he can go to one or two sides. He can usually fall to either the overhook side or the underhook side. Okay, this way or this way. Okay, they both have different defenses. Okay, normally when you learn how to defend the back or escape it, you want to fall to the open shoulder. So in this case, the underhook side. Okay, all right. So just to start off, this is the side that we're going to fall to right off the bat. Okay, so we switch positions, and now Curtis has my back. 2 hooks in, seatbelt. Okay, head is always on the opposite side of the choking arm. This is the arm that's choking over the shoulder. From here, he can choke me. So head always needs to stay opposite of the choking arm for the offensive person. Okay, so now I'm here. Right? First thing I need to do is I need to defend my neck. All right? I'm not worried about escaping right away. If I just worry about escaping and I fall to one side, but I'm not worried about the choking arm, he's going to sink in that rear naked choke and he's going to go. Okay, so primary concern is this choking arm. I'm not worried too much about his left arm right now. All right, so here's what I do. Opposite hand is going to go thumb in the wrist, and I'm going to have a C grip with the choking arm. Right? Other hand's going to meat hook above the forearm area, and I want to always pull it down and away from my neck. Okay, I'm trying to eliminate or trying to make as much space between his choking arm and my neck. All right, if I have it up here like this, and I'm not really worried about poking down, he has the ability to just strip a grip, and now he's right in it. All right, so when I'm here, I go C grip, meat hook, and I want to pull it down as much as I can. Okay, pinching my chin to my chest, lifting my shoulders, just trying to kill all the space right here. All right, perfect. Now I feel like I'm safe from the choke. Now I can worry about the escape. So I'm here first off. I'm going to use my feet. I'm going to drive to the side right here. Okay, now my first battle is the head. Okay, if he can keep his head between my head and the mat, I can't escape. All right, so my first idea is to use my feet, and I want to try to drive my head to the floor. Almost getting it like in between him and the mat now. Now what did that do? It put his head and the choking arm on the same side of my body in relation. Right? So now if he wants to try to choke me, go ahead and keep your head where it is. Go ahead. Right? Really There's no choke. It's just the way the body is like the anatomy. I don't know how to explain it. But anytime you put his head and his choking arm on the same side in relation to my body, there's no choke. He can always adjust. He can adjust my head. Yeah, he can adjust my head, move his head over, and then finish the choke. Okay, but I'm not like just waiting. Okay, but that's the idea, is to try to get my head on the opposite side. So he's here, thumb in, clamp down, tuck my chin. Here we go. I drive my head to the mat, and then I make him almost like look away. See what I'm doing right here? Right? Now using my feet, I'm going to continue to drive my back to the mat, right, and start to work my way and look at him. Right here. You see how I'm escaping little by little? I'm trying to push my back all along the mat. All right? Just keep moving little by little. All right? Once I get my elbow in between me and him, it's pretty much done. He's not going to be able to regard or retake the back. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this near elbow in between me and him. That's the best case scenario, is I get it like right in his neck. Okay? From here, I keep moving my way back. If he's smart, he's going to realize that he's lost the back position, and he's going to start to come up on top. I keep moving my hips out of the way until I get some kind of a guard. Okay? I'm not trying to get on top when I'm escaping the back. That's great if it happens, but if I chase trying to come on top, it's usually going to expose my back again. Okay? I want to put my back on the mat so he can't have it. Does that make sense? Okay? So 1, 2. Drag my feet. I use my feet and I drive my head to the floor. Start moving my hips, clear that hook if I can. I can use, if he has the hooks in still, I can use, because right now I'm not worried about getting choked, right? So now I can use my hand for a second, and I can help that clear the foot. And then I just inch by inch, walking my shoulder right here, freeze. You see how he's starting to come on top, right? I want to stay, putting my back on the mat, and now I want to find a good strong frame, almost like pushing him away. Keep coming on top. Move it away, and now I get my feet to the hips, and I've escaped. Okay? He's usually going to come on top. That's fine. So one more time. You got the seat belt. First, choking arm, control, chin down. I want to fall that way. Drive my feet right from here. All right? If I just try to get my hips to the floor, he's still going to have my back. All right? So even if I'm able to clear the hooks, now I get my hips on the floor. Look, my back is still not on the floor. He can still re-attack my back. All right? Yeah, he's going to come up onto his left knee and reset the back. You see? So I'm not trying to clear my hips necessarily. I want to put my back on the mat. So here, I drive head first, and now here, putting my back to the mat. He still has my hips, that's fine. Once I feel like I have my back to the mat, I can use my hand and I can clear that first hook. And I keep pushing. See how I'm pushing my back to the mat? It's forcing him to come on top, that's okay. Keep on top, I keep pushing him away, and now I have some kind of a guard between me and the person. All right? Questions? Let's give it a shot. Okay, almost turned into a roll. Okay, time. All right?
When it goes live, it goes live.
Yeah. So that's a good instinct for the person that has the back to start understanding is when you've lost the back. Okay, if I keep the person that has the back, if they keep trying to fight for it and try to keep the back when they've lost it completely, they're going to end up on bottom. Okay, so if I have Curtis's back and I realize that he's escaping correctly, all right. So let's say I'm here. Okay, and Curtis starts to go and he starts to escape correctly. And I'm like, no, I want the back. I want the back, and now Curtis is on top. All right, so now I lost the back and ended up on bottom. So I lost 2 battles. All right? So if you're going to lose the battle, at least come on top. Right? You have the advantage of knowing when you've lost the back. So realize you've lost it and come on top. So I'm here. Curtis starts to escape. He's escaping. Go ahead, start to escape. Right here. I've lost the battle, so I come up on top. All right. You have to recognize when the person starts to come on top. Bottom person, push them away, shrimp, make space as much as you need, and try to get some kind of a guard back. Okay? If you have the back and you end up on bottom, you messed up severely. All right? One more time. I have the back. I got my seatbelt. He starts to escape correctly. Oh, he starts to move. Right there. I feel like I've lost it. All right? If I wait too long, Curtis is going to come on top. So I come up on top. Right there. And Curtis did a good job of creating some kind of a frame and getting something in between me and him. That way he can start to be offensive from his back if he needs to. Okay? So now the next one. So that's falling to the open shoulder or the underhook side. Okay? All right, now it happens, we're going to fall to the overhook side. Okay? It's going to be a little bit more difficult to escape because this arm is blocking my head from getting to the mat. All right, and so on my back and shoulders and everything, okay? All right, so same idea though. I'm still controlling this arm, and for whatever reason we fell to this side, okay? Now from here, it's a really good idea to at least try to clear your hips a little bit. So from here, right, because my head is going to be hard to get to the floor because his arm's in the way. So what I like to do first off, just for a quick second, I want to try to clear this bottom hook. So right now I have my left arm is thumb in, right? That's going to be the primary defense. So I can let go with my right meat hook just for a second and work to clear that. Okay? Now if I keep moving my hips out of the way, great. He can still retake my back, right? But another benefit is that anytime he wants to try to choke me, he has to let go of his own hand so that he can choke. So go ahead and work. Yes, right there. I'm going to double up on that grip. Right? If he grabs his hand again, I just wait. He goes to try to choke me. Once I know I have control of that wrist, I'm going to strip it away from my body and bring it over my head. Now that has cleared space for my shoulders to get to the mat. Same idea. He comes up on top, I push away from him, and I get some kind of a guard. Okay? So what is that doing? Just if he lets go of the grip, right? If I go like this, what is that doing to his head and arm in relation to my body? Putting his head and arm on the same side relative to my body. Just the same way when we drove this way, we put his head and arm on the same side of my body in relation. It's the same idea. Here, it's opening a spot for my shoulder to get through, and now there's no choke. Okay? But it's a little bit longer of a process. I have to kind of be patient and wait for him to try to attack me. If all he does is focus on controlling the back, it's a waiting game. Okay? The only clock that we have is a construct. If this is a real self-defense scenario, there's no clock, so I can be as patient as I want to. Eventually, he's going to try to either come on top because he realizes he's losing it, or he's like, I got to choke him, I got to try to finish him, and that's my opportunity to go. So we're here. I drive this way here. Okay? Once I feel safe, I'm going to try to use my hand, and I want to clear this bottom hook, and I go right back to doubling up on my wrist. Okay? As he starts to choke, right there. Boom. Once I get that over the top, I'm gone. Hip out, move away, and now I'm right back to open guard position where I can work. Okay? Any questions? Okay, let's give it a shot. Hey guys, time. Now, there can come a time when somebody has two hooks in and both arms over. Okay? This is not as good for control, but it's really good because now I have both arms that I can attack with. It's just a matter of me shifting my head from one side to the other. Right? So if I'm here, if he decides he grabs one arm, he puts two hands on one arm, right? Now I have one arm clear, and all I got to do is move my head out of the way, strip that grip, and now I can choke. Okay? So if I have two arms over the top, it doesn't make sense for him to try to come this way because I have both shoulders being blocked. There's no open shoulder. Okay? So if he tries to go the highway, tries to go up and out, I'm going to block him with my arms because both of my arms are over top of him, and B, he has a double threat. He has to worry about both arms choking him. Okay? So switch from that position. So when I get to these scenarios, okay, I'm going to obviously double up one-on-one. Okay? So they're not as good as a two-on-one, but I have to respect that he has both arms to choke me. So if I go two-on-one, he's going to choke me with one hand. All right? He can easily eventually strip this grip, and if I try to grab it, it's too late. Okay? So when I'm here, I'm going meat hook, one on each. So the forearms, okay? Now, keeping my elbows nice and tight, watch what I do. I'm going to use my heels, and I want to go out the back way. See where I'm going? Now, he can't choke me from here. I'm too far away from his head. All right? Now watch what I do. One hand is going to go underneath the opposite ankle, and then that's going to clear space for my elbow. Now I'm here. Okay? There's no possibility for a triangle. I got to have one arm in and one arm out to get triangle. Okay? And I'm not worried about his triangle as much because he's not underneath my elbows. Right here. Right? If he was underneath one elbow, if he had the over-under position, and I go over right here, now he has the ability to strip this and go for the triangle. Go back. So it's important that I keep my elbows tight so he can't get underneath them. So we're here, watch. And I can move my shoulders. Now I go under the ankle, opposite, which is going to clear space for my other one. Now I want to drive to the side of the leg control. Now here on top. And now I can start my double underpassing, or I can disengage and run, whatever the situation calls for. So it's coming out the low way. High way, the low way. So double over, excuse me. Okay, if he had double unders, what do you think I'm going to go? I'm going to go the high way because now there's no block of the shoulders. So now I can drive whatever way I want. It's going to be easy to start driving my shoulders to the mat. Okay? It's very unlikely that you're going to see that situation because there's no attacking arm. When somebody has your back, they're really working on it, trying to attack you and choke you. So if they go both double unders, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. You want to like, I'm gonna get out regardless, but now you don't even have an option to choke me if you want to. So it's very unlikely you're gonna encounter this double under scenario. Okay? Double over scenario is a little more likely. You're always gonna deal with the over under. 99% of the time you're gonna deal with one arm over, one arm under. Okay? But if I'm here like this and I drive and get my back to the mat, he's got both sides that he can continue to choke me with. So instead of going the high way, I'm going to come back to the under and go the low way. So meet hook the choking arms, elbows nice and tight, and watch how I use my feet and I pull my butt to my feet and I shimmy my shoulders. Right here. Now I'm too low for him to attack my neck, and if I have my elbows tight, there's no arm bar, there's no triangle. If I do it like this, he has the ability to start changing positions and attacking for arms. Here, elbows in. Now I'm good. My elbows are just underneath his calves, so I go cross underneath the ankle to clear the arm. There's nothing here. Up on top, and now I have double unders where I can start to pass and come up on top. Okay? Questions? You guys want to see it again? Questions? You want to see it again? Without somebody there, sorry. Without somebody there. Go. So we're here. Right? And obviously I'm pushing off his back so it's a little bit easier, but that's the idea. I'm using that's the idea. I'm getting my back to the mat. Under the opposite ankle, clears the elbow, and then a big bridge. And I go on top. Right? Just like the warm-ups that we do, the bridge and turn, it's the same position. I was here, a double under, I bridge into the person, get to my knee, and go up on top. Okay? Let's give it a shot.